We're here at the Real Flagship Store to talk about gear selection. The fastest way to become a kiteboarder is to follow the circle of success. So the first step is going to be instruction, second step is get your own gear, and finally, practice. Each of these steps is equally important, but the most important is that you follow them in the right order.
Got it.
Becky, what's the most important thing for you in picking a kite?
Well, most important to me in picking a kite would probably be kite size, a really, really good safety system, and I'm a girl, so I have to like colors.
Colors are important. So right kite size, definitely going to be really, really important. Safety system, equally important. So in choosing a kite, things that people really don't think about a lot when they're beginning is kite stability, and that's one of the most important things in selecting a kite. If a kite can't stay in the sky over your head and it's going to fall out of the sky, then you're going to have to relaunch it. In gusty conditions, it's going to be a lot more challenging to fly the kite. So we want to get one of those kites that's going to stay right over your head and be super easy to fly. Safety system, that's going to be something we're going to review with the bar as well. Having the safety system work and you having confidence in it is going to be really important. Again, what was the most important thing in safety?
Using your head.
Using your head, right? So safety systems are good, but knowing how to use it and not putting yourself in danger, that's going to be probably more important than the safety system we're going to get. So for selecting the right size kite, at your size, your general kite range, if you're looking at 3 kites, is going to be 7, 9, and 12. 9 being your middle size kite. And when you're getting your first kite, you always want to start with your middle size kite. If you have the funds to do the full quiver, you're just going to expand your time on the water. So more kites you have as a beginner, the more time you'll have on the water. Generally speaking, your first kite is going to be good for about 5 miles an hour wind, but each kite has about 15 miles an hour wind. So as you get better, the wind range increases per kite size. So 9 meter for you is going to be your mid-size kite, whereas 9 meter from a guy my size is going to be my small kite. So my kite selection would be 9, 12, 15, with the 12 meter being my middle size kite. Water relaunch is an important part for any level kiteboarder. For you as a beginner, you're going to be crashing your kite a lot. For me as an advanced rider, I'm going to be crashing my kite a lot. So anytime, you want to make sure you have a kite that relaunches. There's so many kites on the market that do an exceptional job at water relaunching. If you have a kite that is not doing a good job at water relaunches, chances are you need to look for something new.
Got it.
All right.
Matt, if I buy a beginner kite, am I going to outgrow it?
Great question. So there's not really a beginner kite. So things that are important for a beginner: kite stability, wind range, water relaunch, and safety system. Those things are going to be equally as important for a beginner as an advanced rider. So there isn't really that beginner kite. You want to get a kite that fills those areas, and the kite that you choose as a beginner is oftentimes going to be the same kite that I choose as an advanced rider. So for an advanced rider, I ride waves a lot, I do unhook wake style, hit sliders, jump. I want to have my kite be able to do all those things, and more often than not, a good advanced kite is going to work equally as well for a good beginner. Just make sure for a beginner has those 4 items, and you're going to be okay, and you're not going to grow out of your gear. You're just going to grow right into it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's a really nice part of the sport. We get the question a lot, am I too big to kite? Well, the great thing about kiteboarding kites is they make everyone light. Doesn't matter if you're 250 pounds or if you're 60 pounds, you can kiteboard, and that's awesome. So kids, we get a ton of kids that are coming out, they're using a 5 meter kite. The nice thing is that families can add that kite to their quiver, and then they've got a high wind kite for the moms and dads, and the kids can go out and ride anytime they want to. So choosing a right size kite is really, really important to get the proper size for the right conditions, just like we've been doing out here in Zero to Hero.
So Matt, before I came here, I did a whole bunch of research online, looking at really, really cheap used gear. What's the deal with all that?
So you're going to get what you pay for. You buy cheap, you're buying someone's over, they're done with it, it's worn out, ready to move on. Go back to the circle of success for kiteboarding, invest in lessons, invest in quality equipment, and get out there and practice. Do those 3 things, you're going to be in a much better place than you would if you just go online and buy parts and pieces of used kind of stuff that you really don't know about. So go to a reputable dealer, talk to them, they're going to get you set up with the right equipment.
Okay, got it.
Becky, now that we've selected our kite, now let's go talk about boards. So there's 2 ways you can choose your board. You can get your all-around beginner board. It's going to be something you're going to eventually outgrow, but it's, really easy to ride, real comfortable foot straps, going to be a good way for you to start. A lot of people are choosing the second option, which is to get a dedicated light wind board, which will double as your beginner board, and also performance twin tip. Performance twin tip is a board that you'll grow into pretty quickly, but it's really nice for controlling powered conditions and riding through chop.
Okay.
Let me show you a few of those boards, all right? The first board we talked about was a beginner board. So let me grab one of those and I'll show you some of the features.
Okay.
This is an example of a nice beginner board. Okay, so what you're going to notice about this board is it has a continuous rocker line. It's pretty wide tail, real comfortable pads and straps. It's also pretty big. Okay, so for you to ride this as your performance twin tip, it's just going to be way too big. But as a beginner, you get on a little bit bigger board, have a little less power in the kite, and allows you to get up planing and get up riding on your first kite board.
Oh, and I like the colors.
The colors are important. All right, let me throw this one back on the rack and I'll grab our next board, all right? This is a good example of a light wind board.
That board is huge.
Well, everything's going to look a lot bigger in the shop, but this is the same size board you were riding yesterday.
That's crazy.
So dedicated light wind board, it's going to have a flatter rocker line. It's going to be really wide off the tip and tails, and it's going to be, like you said, a lot bigger. So this is a 158. Again, this is going to allow us to have really light, be underpowered in the kite and have a real stable platform on the board. So this board is going to give you a ton of wind range on the light wind range and kind of make up for those bigger kites. All right?
Got it.
Let me go grab a performance twin tip and I'll run you through that. So performance twin tip for your size, this is going to be a really nice size for you. You're going to see here that it's a lot narrower. How do you like the colors on this one?
I love them.
All right, like the colors on this one. It's going to be a lot narrower tail, has a more consistent rocker through the whole thing, and has a lot of bottom shape on it. So that's going to really give you, smooth ride through the chop. Also comfortable pads and straps, and has your handle, all the other necessities that you're going to need. So performance twin tip, this is going to be a board you can ride powered up in choppy conditions. It's going to be a really nice match to that giant big light wind board.
Okay.
The final board I'm going to talk about is a kite surfboard. So you have a lot of people coming from the surf background. Kite surfboards are different than surfboards because they're different in constructions. A lot of times have inserts so you can put a foot strap into it. They're a really fun way to get out there and ride, have a very surfy feel. Does have a little more volume, has big fins off the tail, so it can double as your light wind board if you're going to be in the surf or if you're a core surfer anyways.
Okay.
All right.
Matt, what are these? Are these the same as what you see at the cable park?
These are kiteboarding boots, so they're similar to what you're going to see in the cable park as wake boots. The main difference is that they're easier to get on and off, and they're going to be more flexible. So people are using these for intermediate or advanced riding. Gives you a lot of support, really big heel cushion, and keeps you locked into your board. Beginners don't want to use kite boots because the main reason is getting on and off the beach is a lot harder with kite boots, so it's just safest to stick with the foot straps.
Okay.
All right.